Hello and welcome to Illuminations with Tiina and Fi. I'm Tiina.
And I'm Fi.
Hello, lovely, lovely Fi. It's good to have you here again.
Thank you, Tiina. Same to you.
I am very excited about this month's subject because it's beliefs. And I say this in very positive terms. It's a huge subject, a wonderfully huge subject that we could probably talk about for hours and hours. We could have workshops, taking weekends about beliefs. So it's going to be very exciting to share our thoughts about beliefs, because obviously we talk about it quite a lot together, but sometimes in these illuminations we go, oh, is that what you think? So that, it will be really, really exciting. So where do you want to start this journey, Fi?
Oh, you're right. Yes. So
that was a big sigh.
It was. Well, I suppose let's start with myself. So let's go there. That's a good place to start, maybe. So I think and you said it, thank you, just as we were literally doing our very quick hello and our intentions for the session today, the episode today. So I think that no one really talked to me around beliefs until actually I went on training to become a coach. And I kind of, had noticed that there was a lot around beliefs, but it was really going on training and meeting someone there who is quite a specialist in confidence coaching, and she talks quite a lot about beliefs, and I was very struck by this. I was like, wow. And I've had my own therapy in the past to get over loss of my dad, and we didn't really look at anything around beliefs. You raised that, so don't want to steal your thunder, but you've got me thinking literally now. So what I've grown to understand is that my beliefs have quite an instrumental influence on my everyday being, my everyday world. And it's taken me a long time to really understand and appreciate and accept this. And it's the acceptance that is the challenge. And I know when I've worked with clients and even shared with friends, when we get to the belief bit, it can cause a lot of controversy, because people will go, what, you're kidding me? Really? I'm actually doing all this to myself because I've got that belief? And it's like,
The hard answer is yes.
I know. And I suppose I maybe was more gradual in coming to terms with all of this, and then realising, got you to work with me, which we'll probably talk about. I realised, even now I've got a friend who's learning in EFT, and I've said to she wants a case study, and I said, great, I've got this belief I really want to explore and look at because it's just getting in the way. And now I'm much more accepting and understanding around it. But it is quite, that could be a belief.
this is why it's such a tricky area.
So right. So let's look at, and I know you've been reading Bruce Lipton, so you'll add loads more to this around what you've discovered as well, and we're both inspired by him. So this is all based in neuroscience and based in physiology, and obviously you'll add cellular, discoveries from your end, Tiina. So when we're growing, our prefrontal cortex, which is our reasoning, that actually doesn't get formed until we are around 15 or 16. So you can see why the turbulence arises in being a teenager, and why things don't often make sense to parents around what teenagers are doing, because the reasoning and the rationale is just starting to play quite a key role. So I thought it'd be good just to use an example. So let's say a parent is particularly tired, stressed with work, things piling up, family do coming up at the weekend, and the child and the parent and the child have a lovely relationship, and the child does something and the parent loses it, gets a bit cross, and
I'm just going to interrupt you there. Are you using me as an example? mean, did you just think that, well, I'll just use Tina's life?
No. But
It sounds like me.
Okay. Well, then you'll get this and you can add to the whole thing.
Yes.
So what
Sorry,
happens
continue.
is, it's cool. The child, oh, okay, this will maybe resonate then. The child will then literally try, it can't make sense of it, okay, because the reason, the rationale up there to go, do you know what, this isn't me, dad or mum or whoever is actually in a bit of a, you know, not a good place, and therefore it's all about them. What they do is they go, oh, hang on, what have I done? What's wrong with me?
Mm-hmm.
And what starts to happen is that it kind of nudges a slight generalization around. So if I did, when I did that, you know, significant carer got really cross with me. So it's called a generalization. That's how it starts. Now, what happens is that the brain, as we know, loves routine and loves habit and consistency. So it's freaking out, going, hang on a minute, we've up until now, everything's been quite jolly, you know, we really don't get this. So it will then look for significance so that that generalization can be verified and validated. And so it kind of filters, we say, and gradually what happens is if you look for anything to support anything, you'll find it, you know, and that's a belief. And gradually that becomes a belief, and it forms a neural pathway. And I mean, this is just a really extreme situation. You can imagine if you're a child growing up with people saying you're worthless, etc., then of course those beliefs are formed very strongly. You know, this is just how beliefs can come about. And by the time we're 7, our beliefs are in place, you know, they are actually there, they're formed. And funny enough, this ties in very much with the transaction analysis studying that I'm doing. And I did think about this because, you know, they say there by 7, your life script is written. It doesn't mean that you can't change it, but you can see how that works.
Yeah.
And isn't it the Jesuits that say, give me, and I'll use the gender for now, but give me a child till he's 7 and I'll give you a man. And
yeah.
So yeah, you're slightly stuck and I can't work out whether I'm still moving.
Oh, you are moving on this side.
Okay, you're stuck there. But
okay. Oh, now you're stuck too. Brilliant. Okay, technical difficulties. I'm hoping that I get you back.
Oh, you're back.
There you are. Oh,
you're back.
Wonderful. Okay.
Let's keep going because that was too worth it not to have. So basically that then becomes a new neural pathway, you know, and then it's formed and then it's in there. And then what we do for the rest of our lives is then filter through generalizing, through deleting and distorting information so that that belief is constantly supported and embedded. And so because the brain likes habit, and this is, you know, so true.
Yeah, and I'll interject there and say we are meaning making machines.
We are indeed.
So something happens which actually hasn't got anything to do with us really.
Yes.
But because we think that we are the center of the universe, which we all believe, you know, and that's totally fine. We need to make that mean something according to our you know, whatever we filtered in our generalizations and
yes.
and our beliefs and our truth about the world and ourselves. So then we're kind of insisting on, well, that must mean this. And because the brain likes the habit and brain likes the familiar, and brain is a little bit lazy.
Yes.
Easy way out. It will then kind of connect it with the what's happened in the past or what we made it mean in the past.
Yes. And, you know, we can actually attach it in, you know, they talk about 3, we talk about this in the book, like there's cause, meaning, and then identity. I'm just checking. So, you know, causes, like, for example, you know, I can say, oh, because I come from Ireland, you know, I might have a bad temper. Because I'm, you know, you make up a cause for the way you are, and that acts as a belief. Then there's around the meaning bit. So, you know, you try to give up smoking and you can't. So you go, oh, I can't give up smoking, therefore I'm a failure. You know, I can't pass this exam, therefore I'm, you know, I'm not, you know, I can't do it, or I'm no good, or stupid. That's the one that I was looking for. And then there's around identity. And they're the three biggies, you know, and I think you and I talked about this, you know, the three beliefs that when I do work with people that generally are in there are around, I'm not lovable, I'm not worthy, or I'm not enough, or I'm not good enough. I collect those together. And then the one is I can't cope. And I don't often meet the last one, but I have. And that's a really interesting one. So those are the really deep embedded beliefs that can really cause the chaos. So yeah, now go on. I really want to know, because we haven't had a chance to talk about Bruce.
We have to bring in, well, Bruce, of course, he's a biologist, so he talks about things on a cellular level, and how actually our beliefs and thoughts affect us on a cellular level. You know, so we're talking about health. So certain ways of believing, you know.
It's your age.
Sorry?
It's your age.
Well, that's a funny one for me, because I'm struggling with that one a lot, as Fi knows. Yes, but yes. So we can affect our health very much with our. And he's of course studied it with cells, single cells, and also he talks very much about how our environment affects us. We have been very blinkered, or you know, like this, about it's all about the genes. It's all about the genes. Like if you've got cancer in your family, then you're going to have cancer. You know, whereas when we have somebody who's adopted into a family, then starts believing that cancer is part of the family because they're part of the family, then they also then develop. So it's about the environment that you are around, and the beliefs around there, and it's also the environment that you subject yourself into through your thoughts and beliefs. I wasn't going to go into Bruce this much right now, but I can admittedly say that I've read the book and I've kind of gone, what is it saying? I don't understand, because it's a lot of terms from his world, biology, but it's very, very interesting to kind of think about it at that deep level as well, of how much we can actually harm ourselves with our thoughts. But I think it's also not just how we harm ourselves, but through what we believe about ourselves, we project out there. And sometimes we give permission to other people to also believe that about us. And even though we are harming ourselves like this, and then by letting other people also believe that about us, and therefore giving them permission to also treat us badly, we kind of keep on doing, because it's sometimes a very, very, very hard cycle to break.
Yeah, you're right, and that confirms then, doesn't it, you know, the belief that we had. If the people treat us in the way that we give out, you know, the belief, then we just confirm it, the self-fulfilling prophecy kind of concept, you know.
Because we seek that out. Yeah, we seek that out.
And what also has got me thinking at this point is and I was thinking, this came up recently, I was talking with someone, that obviously, you know, our thoughts, you know, our thoughts aren't facts, you know, that's really the one that blows people away, because they often come from these beliefs where we filter. And, you know, if you're having internal dialogue in your head, and I was reading about it yesterday, and the internal dialogue, you know, is this negative coming from these beliefs that I'm not lovable, I'm not enough, I'm not worthy, and it's constantly going on, you know, the crazy roommate in your head that goes on, you know. Michael Tethered talks about I've forgotten his name, The Untethered Soul, Michael Springer. He talks about the crazy roommate, you know, that actually, you know, the brain can't tell the difference between a saber-toothed tiger coming at you and that internal negative dialogue. You know, it will react in the same way, and therefore you can see how, if you're kind of hanging around with those negative thoughts coming from those beliefs, you are in a constant state of fight or flight stress. And so, you know, it's recognizing that we often fuel, you know, these physical sensations by maintaining these thoughts and this internal dialogue around it, and kind of drive ourselves crazy, literally.
Oh yeah. And I one thing that I'd like everybody who's watching this to take away from this is, like, you're really, really not alone. We all do this, you know, to one extent or another. You know, we all have that, you know, crazy roommate, or the mean girl, or the gremlin, or whatever you want to call it, you know, playing that tape. I think the first step is the awareness of it. Actually, what am I saying to myself, and what am I basing that on, and what belief is underneath that? I'm saying to myself. Good. We're out of time.
Okay.
But we are going to continue this discussion in the next episode.
We are.
And I think that we planned that we were going to focus that on limiting beliefs and empowering beliefs.
Yes.
And let's see how much we flow out of that. You know, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good stuff. Thank you for that, Fi.
Thank you, Tiina.
If you've enjoyed this episode of Beliefs, tell others, subscribe underneath, and why not comment on it? Oh, Fi, I almost forgot a question to our viewers. We always do that.
Oh, yeah. Gosh, this is an interesting one. I don't really want to go down that bit yet. Maybe that's the next question for the next episode. I think, you know, you've already nodded. So what about I know what about just noticing people around you and just thinking about how they are behaving and what they're saying, and just notice whether they think, you know, what beliefs might be driving other people's thoughts and behaviours more than yourself at this moment. Just notice, you know, just notice people saying things as a fact that for you isn't a fact, you know. So just notice that belief playing around in how people speak. How about that?
I think that's brilliant. I think it's brilliant, because that's kind of taking it away from yourself in the beginning, not making it too close, and sometimes can be a bit scary. Belief again, it can be. Sometimes it's easier to see it in others first.
Just notice. Obviously, you know, this just notice with curiosity, no judgment. Notice what other people say, you know, around beliefs, even if it's to do with the weather, or, you know, you've got to do this or walk under a ladder, you don't. Just notice what's out there as beliefs.
With curiosity and humor. You know? I will see you next time, lovely Fi.
Thank you.
Until then, take care.
You too, Tiina. Bye now.
Bye.